I'm back on the channel and I'm going to be a lot more consistent, but things are changing. So this is why I've decided to launch this video, and it might be, I'm going to fill you in with what's been going on. It might be a little bit controversial to most, but what I'm thinking is change the direction of this and be true to myself, but also be true to you. So the main reasons that I haven't been posting as much is probably a bit of self-doubt, and it goes against everything why I actually set up this channel. So just to recap on that quickly, the reason I set this up was to help those that are getting into triathlon or that are new into triathlon, that wanting to stay in triathlon. So I got into it mainly because I signed up for Ironman. It was just one of those bucket list things, but what I didn't realize at the time is how good it would be for my mental health. Now, I do suffer with that, I'm not going to be honest, and that ties in nicely with one of the reasons why you should be following along with this channel. Is I'm going to be completely honest, so honest that I'll give you information about me and the journey and the training that I'm doing that probably would surprise a lot of you. I'm going to be honest in that, and this is why I said it might be a bit controversial, is I've had a lot of health issues in the last few months, especially in the build up to the Ironman World Champs. And I'm going to just say it how it is. I 100% believe a lot of those health issues were caused because of the vaccine. I know it's controversial, so stick around, or if you're not, then sorry, but like I said, I want to be honest. Now, I decided not to get the vaccine, but then when I qualified for the Ironman World Championships, I had to get the vaccine to get to America, and it was a huge debate going on in my head whether I just sacrifice the World Champs and not go for the sake of not getting the vaccine, or do I get it and go? And so obviously I decided to get it and go. But it was after my second dose that my health just deteriorated massively. I had huge issues with my eye. I had severe migraines. I suffer with migraines anyway, but they just got worse. I had a migraine every single day for over a month. My eye, sometimes it'll come through, and if you look back on some of the videos more recently, you'll see the right eye's a bit bigger than the left eye. Basically, my eye has dropped 4 millimeters. It was protruding out. So it was just a lot of this. So the only thing I could link that back to was I was fine up until I had the vaccine. Anyway, that done with. So I'm now back, I'm healthy, I've seen doctors, I've been for MRIs, I've done everything, I've got the all clear, I'm feeling a lot better, training's ramping up. I was then hit with a cold about a month ago, the worst cold I've ever had, and I was, again, not able to train, but I've come through that. I built up my run slowly. I managed a 10-mile run yesterday, felt pretty good. 8-minute miles, so I was just taking it relatively easy. I should have gone a little bit easier probably, but I just felt pretty good at the time. I was probably lashing it down with rain, is why I wanted to get it over with, but glad I got out there in that weather and got that run done. And like I said, it's a huge confidence boost that I managed to get that mileage back in my legs, but I've got a lot of work to do to get back to where I want to be. So the plan for this year is I've got a marathon in April, hopefully. I haven't booked it yet, but the plan is to go and do a sub-3 at Southampton Marathon. Then I've got a 70.3 in August in Belgium. I managed to get back on the team for my age group for GB, so super happy for that. And then I'm going to Ironman Barcelona, back to full distance, and I'm going there to get a sub-10. So yes, that sounds confident, but you have to be confident to go and achieve that. And I know what work is required in order for me to go and get that. So the hard work starts now. Now, tying in with just being honest, so because of all the issues, I don't drink too much, but I've had a few drinks, a lot more than I would usually over Christmas, but nothing, don't get me wrong, I wasn't getting hammered because I just can't deal with the hangovers, but more importantly, I can't deal with the anxiety and the depression that comes off the back of it, so I suffer majorly with that. So I decided not to drink, but like I said, over Christmas I had a few glasses of wine, a few beers, but anyway, that's that. I also started smoking again, which isn't great, but I did. And in fact, and this is where I say I'm going to be honest and probably surprise a lot of you, is I smoked quite a lot during my training anyway, previously. I stopped for a long time, especially in the lead up to the qualifying for the World Champs. But after that, and in the build up to that, I still was. So, but that stopped. That's got to stop because I know I feel better for it. I've always been relatively fit, even when I smoked. So that's going back to the military side of things. I smoked throughout that. Won the Fittest Recruit Award when I was in basic training. Went on to a squadron where fitness levels, it's an airborne squadron, so you had to be massively fit. But anyway, I coped with that really well. But if you do smoke, stop, because it does make a huge difference when you do. So take that advice from me. So I'm also committing to you now that I'm going to be doing a lot more, sharing a lot more things, and a big part of that is being honest. You know, not every day do you feel motivated and ready to smash every session that comes your way on the day, and a lot of it's just discipline over motivation. You know you've got to go and get it done, so you get it done. You're not buzzing for every single session, but you might see that on Instagram or whatever social medias you're using. Another thing is, you know, there's a load of channels out there, which is great. You know, you're seeing the professionals do it, and I watch them all, to be honest. And there's a lot of other amateurs, maybe top amateurs looking to break into the pro, or very high ranked age groupers. And a lot of the time, you know, their training is different. So I'm focusing on, you know, I still class myself as very average, down sort of middle to lower pack, but I work hard, and I'm going to share with you what that takes. So yes, you can do it with a lot of work, and that I'm not going to hide from it. You know, you can't just do the minimum and expect the results. You've got to put in the work, but I'm going to show you what that's like. I'm going to show you what it looks like on a day you don't want to train, and how that does it, and how you go about doing that and getting it done, or certainly the ways I do it, which might help and motivate you to go and get that done. So that's some of the reason. Another part of what I'm doing is I finally, and this is where I say, you know, for me anyway, social media, as much as I'm on it, I really dislike it. I'm always worried about what other people are thinking, and that's a key part of what I'm going to tell you now not to do, is don't worry about what other people are doing. And I've taken sort of a back step in sort of my own development and what I can do to help people in the worry of what other people were thinking. So I finally, if you are on TikTok, I've gone to TikTok. Don't worry, I'm not doing dances. I definitely will never do a dance. You've heard that here first. But I am sharing fitness, strength work for triathletes, runners, swimmers, cycling, anything like that. So I'm a qualified personal trainer, and it's just something I've never done anything with. But now I feel is the time I need to start doing a lot more, and that will help you, again, for going back to the very beginning, to stay into triathlon, because I suffered a lot with injuries, and a big part of that was neglecting strength training. So I'm sharing that along. I've then also launched my other page on Instagram, where I'm doing the same again as I'm doing with TikTok and YouTube, where I'm going to be sharing that, but I'll be sharing a lot more sort of strength work that I do, that you could do, different exercises that you might not have done, that I would highly recommend doing. And it's ultimately about staying injury free, but also it develops the power that you need on both the run, swim and bike. So all of them. So the more power you've got, the faster you go basically, and the longer you can last. And that's really the thing, especially for us in endurance sports, it's all about lasting the distance. And the more, don't worry, you're not going to look like Arnie at the end of it, because of the type of training we do, you just will never get to that level. We just too endurance based for that. So anyway, that is, hopefully makes a load of sense. I feel like I've waffled on a little bit, but those are the sort of the key things. I'm going to be pushing a lot more on here, hopefully now. Stop worrying about what other people think. And I think, you know, that goes right back to the very beginning when I started my Instagram, and I still am, my handles Ironman Jason, and I've got messages in the beginning saying, how can you call yourself an Ironman? You haven't even done it. And ultimately, I let that affect me for a long time, and also let that affect what I put out there to help others. And that's ultimately what it is. This is purely to help people. I've got a full-time job. And again, that's probably another reason to stick around. I'm going to show you what it's like being a full-time employed person with a family. You know, I've got 3 children. I've got a lot of commitments. They all involved in different clubs. So there's a lot of time spent with family. Then there's time spent with their sporting adventures, and then trying to maintain my own sort of goals that I'm wanting to do and achieve. And like I said in the beginning, you know, it's a lot of work and dedication that goes into that. How do I juggle it all? And I'm going to hopefully share, well, I will share that with you, but hopefully you'll get something out of that. So hopefully that is enough reason for you to stick around. If you're new to here, to join the Triathlon channel. If you can, subscribe to those other social media channels, then you can get some tips from there. If there's anything you want to know content wise, please feel free to share it with me, because that will obviously help, rather than me trying to think of ideas all the time. And that's where maybe I also struggle a little bit. It's like, what do you want to see, or what can I share with people that will help? So I look forward to seeing that. If you've stuck around this far, I appreciate it. If you're new to here, if you could like and subscribe, because that really helps push the channel out, and the more people we can reach, the more people we can help. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again shortly.